Ahoy there, Krew, this is your captain speaking, and today I have a special video for you. We're going over all the art I made last year, and spoiler alert, I drew a lot, maybe too much. I wouldn't really recommend drawing this much to most people. It can get a little taxing on the hand and wrist. If you do draw a lot, please just remember to do your stretches and take some breaks, but without further ado, let's set sail. Of course, we're starting off in January. I didn't draw a whole lot at the start of the year, but I did do some studies. Normal, animal, and anthro ones to be exact. This was my first time studying anthro art, and I would say it helped me a lot. It did make me draw in a very Beastars looking style. Don't get me wrong, I like the style, but even now I still need to find my own way of drawing anthros. February came around very quick. It threw us right into Funkberry. I've been taking part in it for I think 3 years now. It's an art challenge where you make an artwork based on one of the given mushrooms from the prompt list that FIFAL puts together. Usually there are 4 themes. That's one for each week, while each week has a few shrooms under it to choose from. It's a more relaxed challenge, so you only need to make one artwork every week of February for a total of 4 pieces. This one was and still is my favorite of the 4. I love how glowy she ended up looking. I feel like I haven't really been able to replicate that. For my next project, I turned my cat into a human. I think the design is still cute, especially the normal Hachemaga one. I have a variant that I'm technically still using. I think I privated this video though, since it doesn't really feel completely right anymore. The art I made of us together was also really outdated for me pretty quickly, because I started to redesign my model around this time. I still really love this design, I just feel like some parts of the model art look wonky, specifically when it comes to the arms. This design will probably be the basis for any future ones I make. I'll definitely be keeping the heterochromia and the half and half hair. It's pretty much part of me at this point, but enough about this project. Let's move on to the few final pieces for February. I turned some famous paintings into furry art. I still think they turned out pretty good, especially this one that I made Beastars fan art out of. But moving on to March, I started this month off with a color wheel challenge. I had fun with this, but it looks a little lackluster now. Some parts definitely look better than others. Maybe I can even put the colors that I'm turning into characters in a color wheel when I'm done with them. I actually drew Miku a few times this month. I made my own Miku Sona. She looks a little plain, but I still like the overall vibe. When Artfight came around, I even made an adjusted version to suit my new design's half and half hair. But of course, I even drew my Miku Sona and the original Miku doing a little duet. I still really like the overall vibe and their eyes in this piece. It does look a little off to me though, but let's move on from the Mikus. I decided to do some more animal studies at this point. Since I wanted to get into furry art, making a fursona was a logical next step. Technically, she is more of a Beastars self-insert though. I am thinking of making a more kelpified version though. It would basically just entail switching up her colors to be more like mine. But moving on to April, I tried drawing with my left hand. It didn't turn out great, but at least I got to draw some okay fan art of Law from One Piece. And some other artworks like this one where I tried practicing the side profile of the head. Even now, I'm not very good at drawing head angles, but I did get to draw this little headshot of Rowan's wolf form. It's not all that great if I look at it for long, but I'd say it's a pretty good start at drawing animals. For my next project, I made witches out of fruits. From left to right, they're supposed to be pineapple, watermelon, and dragon fruits, if I remember correctly. I think I still prefer Arabella, but I just realized I missed out on maybe using the bits of a watermelon in Lucienne's design. This group was just the first of many random character designs though. My next project was turning Sanrio characters into humans. I would actually love to do this again. I think they all turned out really good. I'm not really sure who's my favorite out of my designs, but I definitely love Usahana's rainbow version a lot. Here we have my lovely Titan's proper design. Her first design was just one I put together quickly for Artfight in 2024. I still need to design her fellow main character and decide how I want to portray their story, if at all. So many things to still decide and figure out, but I just keep putting it off. After such a serious project, I made some silly art for the channel. I think I made these just after hitting 200 subs. And then we had May, where I had loads of technical difficulties, so I didn't get to draw much, but I still got out a very nice project before the problem started. I designed the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Here we have the first 2, conquest or pestilence and war. And then there's also famine and death. I still love this Cerberus design for death. I will adjust the design a bit though if I want to use it in the future. In June, I was luckily able to draw again. I started it off with my new profile icon. I updated it when I finally switched to my new model. Rendering-wise, it seems a little outdated, so I might need to fix that in the future. I was happy to make some furry art again. This time it was fan art for AFK Journey and Zenless Zone Zero. I'm not really playing Zenless anymore though. It is fun, but it is a little hard for me to jump between so many games at a time, so I just stick to a few. After I was finished with that though, Art Fight was creeping closer. This time I decided to design characters based on the theme. I think I'll definitely be doing it again this year. But before I show you my Art Fight pieces, I'll quickly go over the art I made in July. As some last minute prep, I redesigned Rowan. I might actually need to change his design again, since I happened to make a little friend for him by accident. Other than that, in the middle of Art Fight, I had a little collab with Axeru. We drew each other's sonas as their evil versions. I just had to turn him into the Dark Yandere type, but with that all shown off, we can finally get into Art Fight. I won't be talking about these individually, but I'll just show them all on the screen real quick. I really drew a lot this time, and might need to take it easier this year. Also, everyone whose characters I drew will be linked in the description, so definitely check them out if you see any characters that catch your eye. Art Fight might have been over in August, but I still continue to draw a lot. It started with something I hadn't made in a while, which is a Meet the Artist post. It looks very cluttered and busy, but that was exactly the vibe I was going for, so I still love it. The fun didn't stop there though. I made some characters using OC challenges I found on TikTok and Instagram. These 2 are a vampire and a fairy OC. While I also drew a medieval angel and nymph OC. The nymph OC is from a challenge I made. I really wanted to try making one for myself. After that was done, I started with a much bigger project. I started turning the zodiac signs into characters. These took me a while, but at the end we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. But we're not done yet. The series even crossed over into September, with the final 4 being Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and finally Pisces. After such a long project, I made myself design a Labubu based on my model. It was a fun and simple project, though I love how I rendered myself in this one, even if I did mess up my sleeve. For that video, I even made my own kitty blind box. I still think the base I made for this is really cute. And for the final artwork of the month, I drew this, which was sparked from K-pop Demon Hunter's rise to popularity. I turned Huntrix into magical girls. They all turned out really pretty, but Mira's design has to be my favorite. And now we're finally in October, which I started off with some style experiments. This was the one I thought looked the best. It's also another drawing of my design for Aquarius. I really like her design, so I wanted to draw again. And of course we have some Drawtober pieces. I believe the themes were Candlelit Messenger, Toad Astrologer, Mushroom Fairy, Spellbound Princess, Troll Toll, and then I didn't draw the last one yet. I drew it a little late, so we'll see that a little later in the timeline. For now, we'll take a look at some other cool art, like these characters I designed based on cryptids. From left to right, these are the Mongolian Deathworm, Bigfoot, and Mothman. They feel so fresh in my mind, and I still like each of them a lot. Since it was spooky month, I just had to continue with some fun Halloween themes. I started with designing a special outfit for myself. I couldn't decide between a witch and a vampire, so I went with both. I tactfully paired them with some other witch designs. These are all based on candy. They're candy corn, candy apple or caramel apple, and peanut butter cups. The apple one is still stuck in my head. I really need to give her a name and find a use for her. And she'll be the friend of Rowan's that I mentioned. After that, I turned what I consider to be creepy critters into characters. We have a spider, a vampire bat, and a giant Asian hornet. I think about how good the hornet wings turned out on a regular basis, but the spider has to be my favorite. We're getting really close to the end of the year. November was pretty busy for me, though not as much as December. But now we can finally take a look at the final Drawtober artwork. It was late, but it ended up really nice. I believe the theme was Enchanted Masquerade. I really want to make plans to design these lovebirds properly this year. I proceeded to draw this for my first time making more of a tip or tutorial video. I designed a more true-to-life persona and went over my process for designing a persona in general. I might just use her as a dress-up doll in the future though. And then we have some more magical girls. This time they're fruit that turned into magical girls. This was actually what my fruits that turned into witches video was supposed to be, but I chickened out. For this one, I picked the blueberry, peach, and fig. I think Idra the fig is definitely still my favorite. And for my final piece of November, I tried out the freerun head angle challenge. It didn't turn out too bad, but it shows I still need a lot of practice. Finally, moving on to December. We have the flower guardians that I had loads of fun with. I played with making a more atmospheric intro for their video. These are the black rose, white lily, and lavender. I especially like the first two, but white lily has to be my favorite, though I do like the darker theme of the black rose. And then we have my final project for the year, or well, one that'll be jumping over into this year. I designed characters based on different colors symbolism. I'll be drawing 4 more for what I believe will be my next video. I can't wait to put all 8 of them next to each other and make a nice color wheel. But that is all for today, crew. Be sure to like and subscribe so I can see you again for our next voyage. Bye bye!